have taught a course on how to review project finance models for years. And throughout these years, I collected some of the frequently asked questions about the topic. And in a series of blog posts and videos, I want to discuss some of these questions with you. And in today's session, the question that I want to answer is, when do we decide on the fate of a financial model? Or at what stage do we decide whether to build a new financial model or adopt the current financial model? And who makes that decision? That's also an important question. Who makes that decision? Okay, to answer this question, I want to take you through a typical project life cycle. So the project starts with a developer who has a project, who has an idea to build an infrastructure or to build whatever is the project, a yoga studio, a power plant, a road, a toll road, whatever. So this developer at this initial idea stage will come up with a spreadsheet for their own internal evaluation, right? They want to know whether it is worth it to go ahead with this idea or not, whether this project can be profitable or not. So if they are experienced developer in that field, they have already done similar project in different countries, then they can get one of their model templates and, change the assumption so that, they can evaluate the project based on that template. Or they might just decide to build it, rebuild a new project from scratch. Okay. So there will be rounds of maybe internal discussion on that model within the development company. They will have some maybe reviews and, use it for their own evaluation. At that stage, at this feasibility stage, early development stage, the developers might think about getting a partner, getting a co-developer, right? So this happens a lot. For example, a developer, they have some technical expertise. However, they lack financial expertise, right? So they might want to get another partner for, to kind of team up with them to become stronger. Or sometimes we have some, like foreign companies, they want to invest in a country which they are not familiar with. So it is a good strategy to get a local partner development, a local partner. So during these discussions of getting a co-developer, they need to pitch their idea, pitch the project to this co-developer. And as part of the discussion, they will ask for a financial model as well, because the other entity, the other developer, they also need to evaluate the project from their own point of view and decide whether they want to get involved with these people or not, whether they want to get involved in this project or not. So they will do their due diligence as well. And in order to do that, they need the financial model. So if we are dealing with with developers who have financial modeling capabilities, then that's perfect, because that's the best timing to decide and to build a model that can be carried on throughout the project lifecycle. That's the best time to build that model and to make sure that the model has the qualities that can, carry these developers throughout the project lifecycle. So if they have these internal expertise, then there will be discussions on the financial model, and they will decide at this stage whether to rebuild it or, keep the original developer financial model. Okay. So there will be some discussion at this stage, depending, of course, on the financial modeling expertise of these developers. There will be some internal discussions and reviews on the financial model at this stage. And as I said, it's the best time if you want to rebuild the model. It's the best time to do it is at this early development stage. So as the developers, carry forward with the development, They might use the model to negotiate different contracts. So, for example, in a PPA discussion, if it is on open book basis and the tariff needs to come out of the financial model, the developer, they need to send the model to the authorities, and the authorities will also do another round of review of the financial model. So at that stage also, maybe there will be a discussion on whether to rebuild it from scratch or keep the current model. And of course, the authorities, if the model is used for the tariff negotiation, they will really go into the detail of the assumptions and make sure, that the assumptions, there will be a lot of discussion about the assumption that goes into the model when it comes to the tariff negotiation. So that's also a critical point of the review of the model. But the most important one is basically at the financing stage. At the financing stage, when the developer, they need to go and secure the financing for the construction. So they need to go to the lending institution, potential equity providers, and they're going to discuss, the project with them and pitch their project to these different institutions. So as part of the evaluation and appraisal, these entities, these organizations, they will ask for the financial model, right? And the lenders, for example, when they review the financial model, they might decide that the model is not fit to carry them throughout the appraisal. So they might ask for the model to be rebuilt from scratch. And if you are a sponsor, if you are the developer at this stage and you come across a lender that is asking you to rebuild it from scratch, it is difficult because most probably within your institution, you're already used to your model, you're used to the template. So it might be difficult for you, both in terms of the time and cost that you have spent to, build the model from scratch. And the worst thing you can do is to have one model, which is the sponsor version, and a completely different model, which is the lender's version. And carrying these two models together, it's just, a headache. So that's something that I completely, disagree with. And if the lenders decide that, we need to rebuild the model from scratch, you should, build a model that is strong enough and robust enough and flexible enough that can accommodate different points of view. So as a developer, as a sponsor, you can use it for your own internal assumption. Of course, there might be some information within that model that you don't want to share with lenders or vice versa. However, you need to have one master model, and then you can generate different versions based on that. So if the lenders decide that, you need to rebuild it, it might be possible as well. Maybe you didn't, have, as I said, that's why it is important to have financial modeling capabilities within the developers, because once it gets to the financiers, to the lenders, you know that you're confident that you have a model that will be approved by lender. So it's going to save a lot of time and cost at that stage. So lenders, they will basically agree upon with the developer, with the sponsor, they will agree upon the financial model. They will use it throughout the negotiation, loan negotiation. And at one point, which is typically 3 to 6 months before the signature date or the financial close date, they will have to hire an auditor, an external financial modeling auditor and tax auditor to review the model, okay? And the report that these entities, these financial modeling companies, auditing companies, they will produce, the report are part of the CPs that are required before the financial close. So you need the approval of these auditors before, you can sign your loan agreement. However, because these auditors, they are really getting involved at the later stage of development, right? So I have not come across throughout my career a single case where the auditor decide that the model needs to be rebuilt from scratch. Because as we have seen, the model has gone through rounds and rounds of reviews at this stage. So most probably in terms of the skeleton and the model mechanic, it should be in a good shape, right? So what the auditors, they do is mainly to detect the errors in the model if there are any, and also make sure that the inputs are in line with the contracts, right? And also the calculations are also in line with how the contracts are drafted. So that's the main purpose of the auditor, to check for these things. However, on the fate of the financial model, most probably it has been already gone through the different rounds of reviews and iteration. So by the time it gets to the auditor's hands, it should be in a good shape. Okay. So with this, we have also answered the question that people also ask about what is the difference between review and audit. Okay. So that's all, that is also answered in this video. So I hope you liked it. In the next video, I'm going to discuss some of the other most frequently asked questions when it comes to review of project finance models. So I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you and bye.